Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Heavy rain has the potential to cause flooding, but that is not the only headache that we're worried about in the next 24 hours.
General Motors is sinking $150 million into a Michigan assembly plant, and it's going to a place that desperately needs it.
But we're going to begin with brand new leads in the Detroit serial killer investigation. A Macomb County mother is sharing horrifying details of her daughter's attack, allegedly at the hands of the person who has been named a man of interest in the case. And topping our news at 5 right now, that woman simply says she's thankful her daughter survived the attack that happened back on May 7th.
It happened in a home on Barlow Street, right in the area of 7 Mile and Shaner. That's where we found police serving a search warrant today, and only Local 4 cameras were rolling. Sean Lay has been working his sources all day. Sean, there's a lot to get to here.
Let's start with that mother in Macomb County. What she has to say would make any mom or dad absolutely shudder tonight. She says she begged and pleaded with her daughter not to come from Port Huron to Detroit's east side to seek drugs. Her daughter ended up in a house not far from where we're standing right now, and she was brutally attacked. Not long ago, Detroit police investigators went right back into that house looking for some key clues.
This home at Barlow and Lappin on the city's east side is the home of the grandparents of suspected serial killer D'Angelo Martin. And our cameras are there as Detroit police homicide investigators serve a search warrant today. This is a big deal. Investigators are looking for items related to a brutal sexual assault of a 26-year-old woman here that happened on May 7th. Martin also came and went from the home, and we're told it is possible that he brought back DNA with him of other serial killer victims, DNA on his body, clothing, or shoes. The victim on May 7th, she's from Port Huron. I spoke with her mother today. She says Martin demanded sex from her daughter. She refused, and that he allegedly flew into a rage.
And she said no. She said he got a knife and he just started stabbing. He stabbed her.
She says her daughter was stabbed in her throat and can't speak as she recovers. Martin's grandmother called 911 as Martin ran off and got away, free to attack again. This family just now realizing that their daughter was attacked by a suspected serial killer and came close to being one of his victims.
She just really came probably an inch from death. I guess she would have been one.
She would have been one of the suspected serial killer's victims. D'Angelo Martin is being held right now. He was charged on Monday with that very attack we talked about, the attack on the 26-year-old Port Huron woman. Guys, coming up live at 6 o'clock, we know that D'Angelo Martin was coming and going from his grandparents' home, but they are saying, look, he was homeless and out on the streets. There is an outreach person that helped him on the streets countless times. One thing really stood out about him. We'll have his story live at 6 o'clock. Back to you.
Sean, you're also looking into D'Angelo Martin's criminal history. What have you found out?
Yeah, have you noticed we haven't heard a lot about that? That's because there just isn't much. Driving violations, and that is about it over the years. Not hardly anything that would be considered anything like what he's being accused of.
Yeah, okay. Huge development today and certainly more to come. Okay, Sean.
Now, just in here at 5, Crime Stoppers releasing a sketch of a man wanted in the sexual assault of a 17-year-old on Detroit's east side. Police say this crime happened back in April on Hillcrest in Frankfort. This man described as being in his mid-40s. Crime Stoppers offering a $1,000 reward for anyone who has information that leads to an arrest. You know the number by now. It's 1-800-SPEAK-UP.
Well, it's off to the west and it's marching our way as we speak. We're talking about rain and it's coming tonight and into tomorrow.
Well, let's get over to Ben. Some more concerns about flooding here, Ben.
There are, and not just on the lake shores this time, guys. We could be seeing that really at any spot, but there's a few locations we're watching. We'll get to that here in a second. This is what we're concerned about, is the amount of rain that's going to fall in the next 24 to 36 hours. 1-inch totals are anything in blue. Purple is anything that possibly could get over 2 inches of rain. And the other models are supporting this, maybe not in the same spot, but also supporting some of those numbers, even though these are the highest totals that we've seen the models come up with in the last couple days. Nevertheless, that rain's going to start at about 10 o'clock tonight in the south zone and then start spreading north through the evening. So we still have some daylight left, with dry conditions in the 70s. We'll talk more about what's to come after the rain that still could have us on our toes, and some flooding threats for the east side, all in a few minutes. Guys?
Well, after 92 years in Detroit, Marygrove College is going to close at the end of this year.
Jason Colthorpe joins us now. And Jason, this comes just a few years after the school transitioned to a graduate school program only.
Yeah, and that just still wasn't enough to keep it afloat, guys. The corporate board voting to close the college. The good news for the area, though, is the beautiful campus here will remain active for things like the Detroit Public Schools CD campus that is there and the P20 program. But for the collegiate students, it's a day of transition.
It's a very sad day for our students, for our alums, for our faculty, for the sisters.
Sad, but not a total shock for the college that ended its undergraduate program just 2 years ago. Despite donations and endowments, the simple fact is, since 2017, Marygrove didn't attract enough students to stay open, according to the president.
And we're going to do a gradual closure. So we'll finish out our summer semester and also our fall semester.
Any students who can finish degrees after that, but within a year, will be able to do that at Oakland University. But for a school with a 114-year history, 92 of them in Detroit, it's an emotional day that required many to lean on their faith while shedding a few tears.
Yes, both prayers and tears. It's hard. It's a hard message to give to people you've been working with. The closest I can compare it to is giving bad news to a patient, and I certainly have had to do that a number of times in my career.
Yeah, I didn't like doing it today. To the 35 to 40 employees still there. Reaction to the news has been pouring in with people sharing their connections to Marygrove, and here are just a couple of those. Harriet Sims says, quote, "So sad. I have many fond memories of the Marygrove campus and my teachers." And Sue Culver writes us saying, "My mother would be so sad. She is always and forever a Marygrove girl." And they kind of broke it down today, guys. You know, they're so focused heavy on education programs there. Education hasn't been a flourishing, ideal career path for a lot of people recently, and they're seeing the consequences of that.
Yeah, but you just hate to see it. The campus is so beautiful and all of that history, but, you know, what are you going to do?
Staying active, though, that's the good thing.
Yeah. All right.
Jason. Well, an investigation is underway after a murder in Marysville. Police said they were called to a home at Lighthouse Drive and Bunce Avenue this morning for an assault, and there they found a man's dead body. A 40-year-old man from Marysville was also on the scene, and he was taken into custody. Police do not believe there are any suspects on the loose right now.
Former Michigan State University Dean William Strampel becomes the first Michigan state official tied to Larry Nassar to be convicted. Strampel was found guilty of neglect of duty and misconduct in office. However, they did not find Strampel guilty of a second-degree criminal sexual conduct charge. Strampel was accused of abusing his power to sexually harass female students. But in the meantime, Attorney General Dana Nessel issued a statement in part reading, "Today's verdict sends a clear message. It's time to change the culture in our schools and medical communities so that our female students and doctors receive the same treatment and respect as their male counterparts. Public officers who brandish their power to demean, insult, harass, objectify, and abuse female students will be held accountable." Well, it's a massive shot in the arm to a city that really, really needs it.
Sure is. Today, General Motors announced it's going to pump $150 million into the Flint assembly plant. And with that money comes a whole lot of jobs. Rod Maloney was in Flint for today's big announcement.
This is the oldest assembly line in General Motors. They were building cars here back in the 60s, but now it's heavy-duty trucks. The problem is it's an old assembly line, and they've been building so much and so fast that they've been bumping into each other because they don't have enough room. Well, General Motors decided today they're going to change that. If you want to know what high automotive profitability looks like, well, it's in these heavy-duty trucks, Silverado and Sierra. They started delivering the 2020 models Monday from this plant. GM clears something on the order of $15,000 a copy, and they can't make them fast enough, which gave GM reason to plow still more money into this 5,000-person plant.
We're boosting production by 40,000 trucks because we have invested more than $1.6 billion in the plant since 2013.
Today's investment's peanuts compared to the overall investment, but it's vital for the workforce that continues and will continue to grow as long as these behemoths keep selling, says Flint Assembly Shop Chair Eric Welter.
It's foundationally the most important thing, right? That you've got investment, so you have job security, so you know this is the place you get to work and you get to retire from. That's very unique in the auto industry at this point in time, and we're blessed to have that.
Of course, we keep hearing about the industry sales plateauing, but it's not worrying Royce here.
People earn a living with trucks. They use them as their primary transportation. They use them as high-end statements of themselves, and none of that's really changed fundamentally.
They're going to start right away on some of the work, but they don't get underway in earnest until the end of the year here. The expectation is that they'll finish by spring of next year. In Flint, Rod Melona, Local 4.
Yeah, all right, Rod, in the past year, GM's hired 1,000 new workers at Flint Assembly, and it is likely they're going to be hiring more as they roll out this expanded plan. Great news for them.
Yeah. Defender Kevin Dietz is working on an exclusive investigation. Here's Kevin.
A hidden camera set up to secretly catch renters having sex. Who put it there? An employee at a local university. The Defenders investigate.
All right, Kevin, and no way, not happening. What happened above the Chicago skyline that'll send shivers down the spine of anyone who has a fear of heights? Nick.
This car is destroyed. It's a mangled wreck, and it burst into flames after a terrible crash here on the east side. But the driver, he's going to be okay. Why? Those two guys right over there.